The Oversight Board is an organization which is independent of Meta. Our job is to overview what content gets removed or stays on the platforms of Facebook and Instagram. It works in a way where a user can complain to Meta if they're not happy with the result or the answer they get. They can complain to the Oversight Board. We can't deal with all cases. We take the most emblematic or iconic cases that will mean something for a lot of people. It also works in a way where Meta can ask us for our policy advisory opinion if they have something they want our opinion about. I feel that this is a new way of regulating content online, which will be extremely important, because until we had the Oversight Board, it was basically up to the social media platforms, in this case Meta itself, to find out what content did they remove, what content got to stay. Now we look at it based on their own community standards, but also based on human rights. Meta asked us after they had banned President Trump whether that was the right thing to do. So we didn't ban President Trump, but they asked us whether it was the right thing to do. We looked at this case really, really carefully. We took public comments in as well. And we agreed with Meta that it was right to remove President Trump, not because he had lied about the election, not because of some of the weird things that he said on social media platforms in those days, but because he was instigating violence on the 6th of November. So that is why we thought it was right to move Trump, not because of the other things. But we also turned around to Meta to say, you can't give arbitrary sanctions to a user. You have to follow your own sanctions regime, and that's what they actually did. But back to your question, Tanya, which was, how should social media react in conflict situations? This is a massive issue, and we have only just started looking into that. We have looked at cases in conflict situations, and one of the asks we have of Meta, and one thing that we will follow up on, and is following up on all the time, is whether Meta understands conflict situations well enough to actually do their content moderation properly in conflict situations? Do they have the right language capacity to do that? If a conflict happens in Sudan, do they know what they should be doing? So I think we will push Meta to be much more, know much more what to do in conflict situation, and hopefully that will also impact what they do in Ukraine.
Of course, you are funded by Facebook and you're policing Facebook. So what do you say to those? How does the public then trust your decisions?
I respect the question, but it is actually Facebook, Meta is funding a trust. And it's a trust that has been giving a very large sum of money, and they are not then responsible for the Oversight Board. So I do think they have created a setup where we are truly independent. No one can sack me if I am part of a decision that Meta doesn't like. We cannot be. No one can tell us which decisions to take. So I feel that we are independent, and Meta has, of course, said that our decision, they will follow our decisions. So some people have compared us to a high court for Meta, which I think is right and is also wrong. But one thing that is certainly absolutely is certain, that Meta cannot dictate at all to us which decisions we should take.